Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Alex, and I think it's time for a little bit of a rant. I have never seen a coach milk a championship win more than Doc Rivers has. Let me be clear. When he first started being a coach back in 1999 and the 2000 season with the Orlando Magic, he showed huge potential because of his ability to lead what I would call a bad team to a 500 record. It was so surprising that not only did he win the Coach of the Year, but he did it without even making it to the playoffs at all, and he was also in his first year of being a head coach. This led to the Magic being able to get guys like Tracy McGrady and Grant Hill. After some unfortunate injury luck for the Magic and blowing a 3-1 lead to the eventual champion Detroit Pistons, Doc Rivers went to the Celtics in the 04-05 season, where he continued to show success. 2 seasons later, after injuries galore, the Celtics formed a new Big Three and won the chip in their first year together. All of this is fine and dandy to me, but realize that I'm talking about what has happened over a decade ago. Since then, Doc Rivers has blown 2 more 3-1 leads as the Clippers head coach, and there's an extensive list of blown leads in a series that his team could have won if they didn't blow it. Granted, some of these blown leads have some caveats to it, like star players being injured for parts of a series, or even with the 3-1 lead loss to the Pistons, where Rivers was the 8th seed and wasn't even expected to compete in that series. But at some point, we have to look at the trends and realize that you can't always have good luck, so you have to find ways to win, even if you aren't supposed to. What's motivated me to talk about Doc Rivers this way is what I have seen from the 76ers in their first 3 games of the season. The 76ers were expected to be one of the best teams in the East and possibly in the league, but with what I've seen out of them so far, they have not shown that at all. Obviously, it's the beginning of the season and there are a lot of teams that are underachieving and overachieving right now, but in the long term, the 76ers can be a good team, but when we get to the playoffs, I am seeing some flaws currently that I do not think will be fixed come playoff time, just because Doc Rivers is the coach. Let's look at some plays that the 76ers are running to see what they're doing wrong and how they could be better and ultimately change my perception of what they can become when they get to the playoffs. I wanted to specifically look at the 4th quarter of the San Antonio game since it was still a close game. When Melton, Niang, and House are surrounding Harden and Embiid, I'm cool with these pick and rolls. Now what I'm not cool with is Harden just ISOing and trying to draw a foul and throwing up a dud while Embiid works his butt off to get an offensive rebound and try to get a foul awkwardly as well. These are some of the best players, and they should actually try to make the basket rather than just forcing the issue and hoping that the refs blow the whistle. See, they go into the pick and roll again and it works. I don't know if this is a Doc Rivers problem or a player's problem, but if the Sixers are going to run lineups like the one they have on the floor right now, they virtually have to do a Harden and Embiid pick and roll every single time, because if they're just going to ISO, I don't believe that's sustainable at all. Or you could just give Embiid the ball on the post and let him work, like right here when he's able to seal off Jakob Poeltl for an easy dunk. Now Tyrese Maxey is in the game, and his speed is a huge plus for the Sixers, who don't really have a lot of athletic players on this team. They use Maxey well here off the ball. He gets a wide open rim run, but Jakob Poeltl is such a great rim protector, so he isn't able to make it through. This is something the Grizzlies actually do with Ja Morant, and I think the Sixers should try to take advantage of Maxey's speed a little bit more often. But now they just have Maxey standing and watching. Harden can make these floaters, but I wish maybe outside of the Embiid Harden pick and roll, something could be happening where Maxey can cut to the basket and use his speed. Looking at Ja Morant again, this is something the Sixers could do with Embiid since he's become a really good passer now, and being able to do something simple like this could definitely make offense a lot more easier for the Sixers instead of just ISOing. Now they have Tyrese Maxey inbounding the ball, and it doesn't seem like Maxey's even expecting the ball back because Harden just throws up a well-contested 3 with 14 seconds left in the shot clock. See what happens when Tyrese Maxey has the ball in his hands? He just makes things happen without forcing the issue. It just seems all natural. And for the last offensive play, we will look at Maxey being able to get his revenge and put up a tough layup over Jakob Poeltl. To summarize my complaints about the 76ers offense, I feel that they are using Harden a little bit too much on the ball, and I think that Harden's touches should be distributed a little bit more towards Tyrese Maxey. According to ESPN, James Harden has dribbled the ball 1,507 times through their first 3 games of the season. The rest of the roster combined has 1,242. This is a huge problem in my opinion. Now to look at the Sixers defense, what I think really messed them up was their screen navigation. There are many times just throughout the last 3 games where they're just getting stuck on a screen and it leads to open looks for the other team. Here's one where Doug McDermott gets an open floater, and fortunately for the Sixers, it doesn't go in. The Spurs also had some pretty head-scratching plays where nothing really happens, like this Jakob Poeltl push shot. The Sixers actually played good defense here until Devin Vassell is just able to hit a tough shot over House, but I think you live with these. In this one, Maxey and House get confused and it leads to a wide open layup. For instances like this, you have to wonder why Matisse Thybulle hasn't played much at all. In this game in particular, he only played about 3 minutes. He's very good at navigating screens, so I think it would be worth it for Doc to at least give him a shot. This one's actually a good contest, but McDermott is just a great 3-point shooter and he's able to make this one go in pretty easily. And then we have the Jakob Poeltl show, where he just grabs every single offensive rebound imaginable and the Spurs are able to capitalize on every single one. To me, this is actually Embiid's fault, who's had a good offensive performance in this game, but defensively in this game, and even prior, hasn't really shown much effort on the defensive end in terms of his closeouts and even just rebounding the ball. Again, it's the beginning of the season, so things can definitely change, but even outside of this particular game, there are multiple instances of Doc Rivers not making the right adjustments in the playoffs, and I'm afraid that even if he can change in the regular season, like adding Matisse Thybulle in certain situations, or even adding more variety in his offense, it just won't happen when we get to the postseason where it matters the most. And just like the Spurs game, I'm afraid that Harden and Embiid will be forced to make tough shots out of isolation because of the lack of creativity in the offense that Doc runs, even with the amount of talent that this Sixers team has. All of this, I believe, will lead to the eventual firing of Doc Rivers by the end of the season. If things don't change and the Sixers underperform again to their expectations, which I believe is a conference finals appearance or possibly a finals appearance. Well, those are my thoughts on Doc Rivers and the 76ers. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and sub. I'm trying to hit 100 subs by the end of the year, so I'd really appreciate it if you subbed. If you liked me reviewing game film like this, check out this video where I go through Tatum's first game this season, which was actually against the 76ers. See y'all in the next one. Peace out.